All right, we're ready. What up,
Yeah, let's
guys?
do
We're
it.
back with another podcast, live podcast. Um, so how it's gonna work is we're gonna go on our usual podcast, and if you guys want us to discuss something, send a super chat, and we will discuss the topic. Nothing like stupid though. Like, don't waste our time. So just some like good stuff, like interesting things that like you
Yeah.
think people would want to
Or
hear.
if you want to, to support, you can send a chat as well. But yeah, guys, if you're interested in giving us a topic for us to cover in depth, send a super chat and we'll get it going. But recent news, Jacob, Nate Diaz is going to get arrested. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the right move. You know, the guy clearly it was video
They've already.
evidence.
Did you see? Did you see? They issued a warrant.
Yeah, the guy didn't do anything. Like he literally was trying to he was just saying, "Oh, I'm not here to like do anything bad," and then Nate Diaz still puts him in a chokehold and puts him to sleep. So he definitely should be arrested.
Yeah.
It's the right thing. And yeah, we'll see what comes from it. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see if his fight with Jake Paul ends up happening because
Bro,
it's
it's not
definitely.
going to happen if he goes to jail.
Oh, I mean, for sure not. So he may have messed up. You know, this guy is 40 years old and still acting like a kid. Like it's just embarrassing. You know, I mean,
I
this
know.
it seems like every event he goes to, there's like some sort of problems he causes, and it's just crazy. You know, he's got to get his shit together for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, over the weekend it was a good weekend of fights. You know, Pavlovich knocked out Blades first round. We predicted it many times, so
Yeah.
we were right once again. Like we get a few picks wrong, like guys, and then all of you are like, "Oh, like you guys suck at picks," but like we get most of our picks right. So we're not gonna hit everything though, but we were right on the exact pick for Pavlovich, first round knockout. And yeah, I think this guy is dangerous. You know, I saw you talking about him versus Francis Ngannou, and I disagree with you actually. I think he beats
Really?
Francis. Yeah, I think he beats Francis. I do. I don't think he knocks him out in the first round, maybe. I just think Francis is a guy who does gas out. His power does get worse and worse as the fight goes on.
Yeah.
And I think Pavlovich could do enough can get through the first round. And I think in the second round, third round, I think he'd be more dangerous. Obviously, we don't know because Pavlovich has not gone past the first round in 5 years. I was looking at it yesterday. 5 years he's not gone past the first round, which is insane. But just
Yeah.
his style, like he's a better boxer than Francis. He does not have the power of Francis, though. That's the one thing. I think Francis has more power, 100%. Pavlovich isn't putting people like out limb with one shot like Francis
Yeah.
did. He doesn't mean he doesn't have power. Like he does have a lot of power. He's the hardest hitting heavyweight right now, without a doubt. But he's more of like a combinations guy. Like it'll take like a few different combinations for him to put you out. But nonetheless, he's a great boxer. Best heavyweight boxer right now for sure. He could be considered the best heavyweight boxer ever, you know, when it's all said and done from him. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens next because I'm assuming he'll be the backup fighter again for Stipe versus Jones. But like my question to you is like, does this like make Stipe versus Jones less interesting? Because the thing about Stipe versus Jones that I was interested in is if it was going to be in July. Now that it's not going to be in July and we have to wait a while, and then Pavlovich just knocked out Blades, like I feel like that just like diminishes like the interest of the Stipe fight. But what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think it completely diminishes it. Like, let's be honest, Stipe hasn't fought in almost 3 years, and the guy wasn't a serious threat to John Jones ever since the Cyril Gane fight. Like, even before the Gane fight, we all thought Gane was going to be like a harder test than Stipe. Like, Stipe was an afterthought before the Gane fight. After the Gane fight, it's like, all right, so what round is Jones winning in? All right, so how is Jones going to destroy Stipe? Like, how's it going to go down? That's the question that we're asking. Nobody gives a single fuck after what Pavlovich just did to Curtis Blades. We don't want to see Stipe and John Jones. We want to see Pavlovich, who is the most similar matchup to Jones that Ngannou was. We didn't see John Jones go through a guy that has furious power, like built like Pavlovich, just a tank. We want to see that matchup for Jones. Stipe is like an old dog, Robbie Lawler Nate Diaz versus Jones at this point. I
Mhm.
understand we're disrespecting him a little bit because the
But
last
already
thought we
though,
have
he
of
hasn't
Stipe is
fought
him
in like
getting
2
knocked out.
years, and since then he's been a firefighter. So I don't
No, I
even think that
understand that. I'm just saying, like, we can't compare Stipe to obviously Nate Diaz because, like, you know, it's easy to say it now that he got KO'd by Francis, and he's not going to get KO'd by Jones. But like, the truth is, the UFC, they will give Jones the Stipe fight, and they'll only do that to get him a free win and just to call him the GOAT because they don't want anyone to think that Francis would beat him, and they're worried that if Pavlovich beats him, then they think, oh, well, Big Puncher beats Jones, and now everyone thinks
Mhm.
Ngannou would beat him. And I think that Ngannou would KO Pavlovich. You know, I think that Ngannou isn't as good as Pavlovich technically, skill wise, but I think that Pavlovich doesn't have the one shot power that Ngannou has, and I think neither of them have terrific head movement, and I think that both of them are going to land, and I think that Ngannou is the one who wins based on his land is harder. But I think that it's listen, I hope that every fan in this universe tells the UFC or tells the UFC like we don't want to see Jones and Miocic because
I
it's
mean,
not interesting anymore.
I'd be interesting. It would be
It's
interesting,
not. It's not.
but it's
Listen,
not like it's
yeah,
not as good. There's better options. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. And,
if
and
they
I
did,
and I think again, one of the reasons why I say maybe we're disrespecting Stipe is because we know Stipe and Jones is different than Stipe and Ngannou. Like we know it's different than Stipe or Jones and Gon. Like we know Stipe is going to be a test, but like
too
it's not
aggressive.
the same. It's not the same intrigue as a guy that could knock Jones out. And I understand Stipe could knock Jones out, like, but a guy who has 6 first round KOs in a row that kind of can fill the position of a Francis Ngannou that isn't coming off of a brutal KO, like it's just come on, night and day. We need this fight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we'll see it though, because I think that's a huge risk for Jones. I think Jones would take the fight 100%, but I don't know if the UFC want to risk the whole John Jones thing because like you said, I mean, if John Jones beats Stipe, he could just go right off the sunset. You know, he just
Call
beat the
himself the
heavyweight
GOAT.
goat. You know, he's the goat. And I don't think the UFC wants to jeopardize it. Like I know John Jones like has all the like the out of the ring stuff, like you know that like he's a criminal, all that. But in
Yeah.
terms of as a fighter, like the UFC want him to be considered the GOAT. They do, you know, like what he's done was unbelievable, and I think the UFC doesn't want to jeopardize that.
And
So
that's
I
probably
think,
because of Francis, you know. That's that
yeah,
especially with Francis.
especially
Yeah.
especially for Francis, yeah.
But
I
now
think
that
it's
now that you saw Pavlovich obviously get past Curtis, like let's just talk about the fight. What do you think of Pavlovich? And be honest, like, do you think that Pavlovich is just gonna go in? Okay, well that's let me rephrase this. Were you impressed by Curtis Blades eating a lot of those shots early on? That's what I was gonna really ask. Because I was almost unimpressed with Pavlovich's power early. Of course, I'm still impressed. Curtis Blades in the first. That like no one does that to Blades unless it's Ngannou. So like it is impressive, but he didn't just knock him down with every shot, you know?
but that's not going to always happen though. It's kind of hard to say that I was like
I'm telling you
unimpressed
this,
with
Francis Ngannou hits him
Pavlovich.
with those shots, he's knocking them down.
Yeah,
Dude,
I mean,
Ngannou. I left the fight thinking Ngannou hits harder. That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah, but I mean, he doesn't put combinations together
Yeah,
like Pavlovich, you know. Like I think especially when you're looking. I mean, I was just it's a little side discussion, but John Jones. Like I mean, if you're looking at John Jones, I mean, I think Sergey would have a better chance of beating Jones than Francis would. You
I
know,
agree.
because combinations and Jones is he's quicker than Francis. But in terms of blades, though, like I think I don't know if I was impressed with. I don't know if I was like not impressed by I mean, by Sergey. I don't know. I mean, I think he did wobble him a few times before he knocked him out,
Yeah, he
and
did.
maybe Francis would knock out Blades with those shots, but we won't know. And like, I don't think he hits as hard as Francis because you could just tell like when it was also in the apex, so you could tell
I mean,
especially.
Francis knocked him out
Yeah,
already with
yeah,
those,
yeah.
like
And
with
also
less.
yeah, no, Francis definitely hits harder for sure, but Sergey is not swinging like
Yeah,
an idiot
yeah.
like
You're
how
right.
Francis swung against Rosenstrike. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah,
not doing that, you know?
no.
And I know Francis has had a great show that he's had a great chin, you know. Never I don't think he's
Sergey
ever
has a
been
great
knocked down,
chin
right?
too.
But how do we know that, like, if Francis comes in swinging, how do we know, like, what if Sergei hurts him? What if he reaches
Yeah.
him first? I mean, speed beats power, no?
No, you're
Like,
right. There's a
what if
possibility that
what if
like
Sergei
I
hurts
got
him? What if
yeah,
he
that's
could hit
true.
him before Francis hits him, hits when has Francis ever set up a shot with a jab? You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that, like, so I think that's why I think precision and speed always beats power. So I think Sergey would beat him, but that's not like we won't see the fight. But in terms of Curtis
Yeah.
Blades, I thought his game plan was terrible. By the way, it was Son Strickland like against Pereira, similar.
Yeah.
He did shoot a takedown, but he shot it way too late. Like he shot it after he got wobbled. Like you don't like
Yeah. After he got
how how
dropped too
how
early in the
effective is
round.
how effective is your takedown going to be after you just got dropped? Like it's just not going to be effective at all. Like that was a lazy
And the
takedown.
way he takes people down, dude, it's like he just literally like bends over and that's it.
It was the most basic takedown there is that you can do, and I thought it was stupid. I thought after the first minute maybe he should if he didn't want to shoot in the first minute, like shoot like after that. Like, but he literally waited till he got hurt, which was so stupid. And yeah, I think he had a terrible game plan. I think, and you could see that like Curtis Blades is a good fighter, but I just don't understand what that game plan is. Even against Francis, like why didn't he like try to shoot against Francis early on? Like why? Like you know these guys
Yeah.
have tons of power. Like why are you trying to like strike with them? You know what I mean?
He loves his hands, dude. He falls in love with his hands because he's coming off of a knockout over a welterweight.
It's just so stupid. Like you know you're
I
not
don't
gonna
think he's
fucking
ever going to be a champion.
No, I mean definitely not. I mean he has the tools to be a champion, maybe. But like he fights so dumb. Even like getting knocked out by Derek Lewis, like you're if you get knocked out by Derek Lewis, you're not a championship fighter. End of discussion. That's just how it is. You know, like you
Yeah.
just can't be a championship fighter. So I was still impressed by Pavlovich. Not that many people. It's hard to compare him to Francis because it's just like MMA math never like really works.
Yeah.
But like if you finish Curtis Blades in the first 3 rounds, you're very impressive. That's a
Yeah.
fact, you know. And he's had 6 first round finishes, knockouts. He's extended his own record. Super impressive. I don't know how anyone will ever break that. That's fucking insane. And it's just a shame that we won't see him fight again until probably next year. So because of this whole Jones versus Stipe thing. That nobody really cares about anymore. So yeah, no, I mean, I'm impressed by Pavlovich. Yeah, I think he just has to hold out until a title shot, which is unfortunate. But it'll probably be a vacate title shot actually. So maybe let's get Tom Aspinall some wins, and then we'll run Pavlovich versus Aspinall for the vacate belt next year.
Let me ask you though. Obviously, Aspinall's an interesting matchup, but like, who wins, Pavlovich or Jones?
Straight up, I don't think they'll fight.
But if they
But
do,
I think Jones.
yeah, I agree.
I think
I think
I
he's so
think
much better at taking people down
too
than
quick. He's too quick.
yeah.
You know, I
And he
think
could
he's
strike
too
with him on the
quick.
feet. He can keep it at
No,
range.
you shouldn't strike with him. You shouldn't strike with it. I think maybe for like a second, but I
You
think
don't think he could dance around him, kick him?
it's gonna be tough. It's still gonna be tough because Pavlovich has quick hands. Not as quick
Yeah.
as Jones because Jones is smaller and stuff. So, but you can't strike with him at all. I think Jones would have like a super clever takedown and take down Pavlovich and just
Yeah.
probably put him on the ground first round. But it won't happen. So I'm not really like.
But
But
it should
Pavlovich,
happen. That's the thing. It really
it
should. And I
should
think
happen.
Jones is
It
going to get a
should
lot of
happen.
shit for not fighting a real guy because it's easy to say now that Gone wasn't a real test. Like he was a real test, but
He was, of course, he
Stipe
was.
is not a real test at this point.
I mean, Stipe, it was more the name. You know, I mean, it's just the name
He's
against.
old. It would have been a test, 4 years ago, but not anymore.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
and also if Blades won, it would have been more of it. Like we would be like, okay, we still want to see Stipe versus Jones. You know, but now that Pavlovich won the way he won, like like how can you deny this guy? Like I
Yeah.
just don't get it. But I think they will deny it. John Jones should call out Pavlovich though. He should. But I don't know though. He may just want to fight Stipe and retire. It's a weird position that heavyweight division's in now, But how do you think Pavlovich does against other heavyweights? Like, how do you think he does against Aspinall? How do you think he does against Gon?
Yeah, I think Aspinall is just so confusing because like I feel like Aspinall is better at taking people down than Blades. Like Blades is so stuck in the mud, and Aspinall's fast. And I think that
And Aspinall's
Aspinall
more
would be
creative.
way better at his entries. Striking, Aspinall's a way better striker, but like that's such a hard fight to predict. So I'm just gonna say, for me, if I had to bet on it, if I had to put my life on it, I would probably go with Sergei Pavlovich. But like, I think it's
Aspinall.
really close. And for Gone, I think I would probably lean towards Pavlovich just because like I think Gone can scrap, but like scrapping with Ty and scrapping with Volkov are different. So I think that like although Gone could definitely win based on outstriking him, like I think Gone could keep him at range. At the end of the day, the reason why I picked
Pretty tough
Pavlovich is
guy.
because if you're looking at Ngannou and Ngannou didn't hit Gone once, but again, the technique and the output, like Pavlovich is really high output when he throws his hands. I feel like you can't get out of the way of that, especially when it's good technique and he has a long reach. So I think Pavlovich probably knocks Gone out. Another close fight, but I'd go with Pavlovich. I'd bet my life on him against any of these guys if I had to. The only guy I would bet against Pavlovich with would be Jones, of course, but that's
I
because
think
it's Jones.
Aspinall. I think Aspinall can maybe beat Pavlovich.
How? You think he could not take him
I think
down or
he can
knock him out?
I think he can
Just
maybe take him down. But
yeah.
again, we don't know. It's so like it's hard to bet on against Pavlovich at this point. Like he hasn't shown anything like reason for us not to. Like so it's kind of hard to say because Aspinall could come in striking like he did against Blades and just get knocked out. You know, and I think in terms of Gon, I think Pavlovich knocks out Gon
Yeah.
completely. If you're scrapping Tai Tuivasa, if you're going to war against Tai Tuivasa, you're getting knocked out by Sergei Pavlovich. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a guy with a like Tuivasa is like a 72-inch reach. You know what I mean? And like you're getting hit by him. Like I know Gon's a
You
great
know what I
striker.
you know what
Like,
I just thought, like, I really think there's a massive gap between like the top 5 heavyweights and everyone else. Like in other divisions, it's usually 2 guys that are above other guys, maybe 3, but
I think it's the top
lightweight, it's pretty
five.
much mixed. Yeah, like I think, if you think about it like this, I think everyone in the top 5 at heavyweight dominates everyone outside the top 5. Like I think
Maybe an
Aspinall,
Almeida though. What about an Almeida?
I think he's going to be a top 5. This is what I think. I think that Aspinall dominates everyone outside the top 5. I think that Pavlovich dominates everyone outside the top 5. I think Gon dominates everyone outside the top 5. I think Jones dominates everyone outside the top 5. And I think Almeida is going to dominate Rosenstrike. So I think he dominates everyone outside the top 5. And then Stipe is Stipe. We don't really know at this point, and
Yeah,
he gets a pass because he's old. But like, I honestly think that the gap at heavyweight
the biggest out of
is
any
so
division.
stark outside the top 5.
What about the middleweight division?
Middleweight is very close. It's convoluted because like it's really Whitaker and Adesanya, and that's it. Like I don't think there's any other guy there because
I mean,
I
Chimaev.
can't even speak of Hamzat. Like he's not even in there.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what's going on with
Dude,
him.
Hamzat, I have to be real, bro. I'm starting to not even like Hamzat that much because he's so inactive. It's really,
I don't
really
understand.
annoying me.
The situation's just confusing. I would love to like hear like an honest, like I just would love to hear from the UFC. I'd love
Yeah,
to hear
like
from
what
Dana
is
White
going on with this guy?
what actually like happened. Like did he like duck? Did people duck fights from him? Like that's what I don't like. I want to like know honesty. I mean, like
I
I want
have
to
an
know.
answer for you though with
Yeah.
that one because Whitaker, I think, ducked him.
You think so?
So, yeah, I listened to the Whitaker interview on Ariel Helwani a few weeks ago or last week, and I didn't think anything of it. But when I was washing my hands, it just came on automatically this morning, and I remember hearing him ask Whitaker about like this is before the Dricus Duplessis announcement. He said, "What about Chimaev?" And Whitaker said, I'm just not a fan of like taking on guys that are just jumping in the division. Like, it's just I just don't like that. They need to like do something before that. You can't just jump up here." And this was months after he
So
was
you think he
saying,
ducked Chimaev?
yeah, because he was saying in February during the Volkanovski and Islam fight week that like he would fight Chimaev. And in this interview, he was saying, I don't really like that. So like I'm pretty sure they may have asked Whitaker and Whitaker may have said no. And to be honest, I'm gonna be real. I think that's a good move from Whitaker, business wise.
Avoid Chimaev.
But I think that I think
I
like
mean, the trickiest fight is it's the way easier
is
fight.
yeah. I mean, like, how would you not take that over Chimaev?
Yeah.
I think
That's
it's a
a
good move because I mean, like Whitaker, he gets an easy fight. Against everyone else in the division, he gets a title shot. So you may as well. But I think that's what happened.
I also think, I mean, for Dricus, it does make sense too. You know, what I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Does
like
anyone think Dricus could win? Like, I mean,
look, there's obviously a chance. You know,
yeah,
Dricus who could breathe. Like, who knows? This guy could just be like a champion
yeah.
level. But I don't think so. But there's always a chance though in fighting, as we know. But I'm not going to count on it. I think Whitaker
Who
would.
would you
But
pick in that?
it is a three
Yeah,
rounder though, so I think that
yeah.
gives a benefit to Dricus though.
Who do you think would win in the trilogy between Whitaker and Adesanya? Who would you pick?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Because I thought Whitaker won the last one. I
Yeah,
thought Whitaker won the last fight. I'm gonna say Whitaker because I think Whitaker figured him out. I think Whitaker figured out Adesanya, you know, and I think he's evolved more since the Adesanya fight, or as of late, than Adesanya has. I know Adesanya is coming off an amazing KO against Alex Pereira, but like still, like I don't think he's evolved as much as Robert Whitaker. Robert Whitaker continues to evolve, and I thought he won the last fight. So
yeah,
I think Whitaker is going to win. I think Whitaker will win. Whether the judges give him the fight, it's not up to us, you know. But who knows? Maybe he'll beat him even like more like obvious, and they'll give him the fight. I hope he wins. You know, I think I would probably pick him to win, but it's like a 50-50 fight though. It's going to be a tough one to pick. But who do you have?
I mean, like it'd be so hard to pick against Adesanya now, but like it's a different matchup. You know, there are takedowns involved. I think Whitaker's much more
Whitaker
confident in
will
his
shoot.
ability to take.
Whitaker will shoot
Yeah, dude, without a
earlier.
doubt. And I think
But
that the adjustment that he made is after he got knocked down in the first round, he stopped throwing his right hand. He was basically just fighting Adesanya with a jab and a check left hook. And I feel like Adesanya had such a hard time countering Whitaker with that. And I think that that's like a massive improvement for Whitaker to be able to like find something that Adesanya can't counter. And I think that I really think that Whitaker, you know, it's crazy to say this, right? Because if it goes to decision, I have to pick Whitaker.
okay. You
And
think
that
Whitaker?
means but
You
Adesanya
think
can knock
Whitaker's
him
a
out. Like,
chance to knock him out though? You think Whitaker has a chance to knock out Adesanya?
I mean, anything could happen, but not if not. It's not like a chance that I would never bet on it. No, but
No, no.
like it's like Whitaker knocking out Adesanya is the same chance that like Dricus has to knock out Whitaker.
Yeah, maybe.
Like I don't
No,
think Whitaker can knock
I
him out.
thought
I don't think.
I think
Yeah,
Adesanya's got a terrific chin. Like I
yeah, he
really
has a
think
good chin.
Adesanya's got a terrific chin.
He took left hooks from Pereira.
I don't think Whitaker has a terrific chin at all.
Yeah,
I think it's not bad. I mean, I don't think he's got a bad chin. I just think it's like it's nothing like special, you know. So I actually think that Dricus is a better chance of knocking out Whitaker than Adesanya has to get knocked out by Whitaker.
yeah,
I disagree on that, but because I just think that Adesanya's chin is amazing. I think that Whitaker's chin is like decent, you know. I think that's the
yeah,
one thing about Whitaker's that's just not. That's like his one. I mean, and submissions, but I don't even want to say he's got like like a like a, like a middle chin. Like I mean, I think it's good. I mean, he didn't get knocked
yeah,
out by Yoel Romero, but he has shown some shakiness. But it could have just been the fighters he got hit by. So like it was
yeah, for
Adesanya
sure.
Romero. So like it's
But
kind of
like
like.
these guys, Cannonier doesn't get dropped. Jan doesn't get dropped. You know,
But I mean, Whitaker got dropped for like reaching in on
yeah,
Adesanya. Similar to what happened with Pereira. I mean, I know it's a little bit different, but still, like when people reach in on Adesanya and they try to like get a little bit too aggressive, they get dropped or knocked out. So it could have just been that, and Romero hits like a truck. So like, you know,
yeah.
but you know, I actually don't. I mean, Cost. Do you think Costa's chin is as bad as like? Do you think like what early prediction on this fight? Costa versus Chimaev. It seems like it's gonna happen.
Dude, I
Do you,
hate that fight so much.
do you think Chimaev can knock him out?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, man. What without a doubt.
Wow.
I think he might have just as much, if not more, power at 85.
Wow. I think Chimaev
The one
chins.
guy he knocked out with one shot was at 85.
Yeah, but Costa took shots from Romero. though. I know that
The
was a
thing is,
while
though,
ago.
Costa doesn't have like a granite chin. He has a decent chin, but he also got dropped by Romero and he got, put out by Izzy. And I think that Hamzat's just a skill above him. So I think it's like a skill thing. I think Hamzat can knock him out, like just catching him with something that Costa is just not ready for. So I think
If
it
you had
could happen. I'm not saying that Costa's chin is bad. It's probably average. It's nothing crazy. Might even be slightly above average, but I think, for sure. I think that based on the skill and the speed, I think Hamzat can knock this man out.
how do you think
I
that
don't
fight
even want
goes?
to see it, bro, because like I don't take Costa seriously as a guy that is ranked. I think he is the
That's a
most.
big fight. That's a big fight, though. That is a big fight, though. To
It's
build
a
up,
big fight based on the fact that Costa is jacked and he has a personality. I mean, like these are things that are cool about Costa, like for sure. But I just think it's like I don't like how people like. I almost feel annoyed at the fact that people think it's going to be like that, even that competitive. Like I don't think it's going to be competitive at all.
well, how do you think the fight goes? Like if you had to like bet on like
Dude,
how
I think Hamzat is going to take him down and submit him and choke him out. Or I think what I think Hamzat Chimaev. Let me think. I think that Hamzat Chimaev is either going to submit him in the second round when Costa gasses. So like a gassed out Costa, easier to take down. Hamzat jumps on him. He just takes the neck. Or I think he knocks him out in the first or second round. That's what I think. So I think he either chokes him out in the second after Costa's tired when Hamzat gasses him out, or I think Hamzat knocks him out in the first or second. That's what I'm going to pick.
I think Hamzat by decision.
You think it's going to be a scrap?
I think Chimaev's going to choose to strike with him. I generally think he's going to choose to strike with him. I think he's an out strike.
But his team would be furious. I don't think that after the Gilbert Burns fight, there's no way they're going to game plan for that.
I don't think he's going to get like. I don't think it's going to be like that close of a fight. Like I just think that Chimaev like may just win like 30-27 decision. Like I don't
see it, bro. Hamzat's too much of a beast to decision Costa.
I just think
if he decisions Costa, bro, I'm gonna be very disappointed.
I just think that what if he like demolishes him? Like what if he like puts on like a striking masterclass?
Oh well, then it's different. But that's different.
Like,
that's different. But I don't think Costa. I think Costa's
going to be hard to take down.
I think Costa is too tough for that.
I think Costa's going to be hard to take down. That's my fear. Like I generally don't think
he is going to be hard to take down. But like Hamzat's a different animal, bro. He's not Luke Rockhold.
I just think I think Chimaev's going to win 100%. Maybe you can take him down in the second round. I just don't know if the fight starts. Like I don't know if Chimaev's doing what he did to Kevin Holland to Paulo Costa. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know
if he could do that.
I don't know if he could do that to Costa. I think Costa.
But I think he could definitely take him down. Period.
At some point.
I also think that he could hurt him and jump on him and finish him.
I think he could. I think if he strikes with
Costa,
he's
better skilled than Costa on the ground. Like you have to think about who has Costa even been on the ground with. Like Yoel's nothing that crazy on the ground, and then
I think Costa's good on the ground. But like he's good for 185. I mean,
he's good when he's on top, bro. But on bottom, bro, he ain't all that.
I don't even think like I think Chimaev outstrikes Costa too.
Like, I agree. I agree with that. I just feel like, I think in order for there to be a decision, there has to be like an all-out scrap. Like I think Costa has to like give it to Hamzat. I think if Hamzat has his way, he's gonna knock him out. Like Costa has a terrible gas tank. He doesn't have a great chin, and he's not that fast, and he doesn't hit that hard. And I don't think he's that skilled. I think it's gonna be yeah.
What do you think the reaction is going to be after that fight? Like, do you think people are going to be like, wow, like Chimaev is a rock? Like what's your prediction on that? Like,
dude, I think that people are going to be like, all right, like stop fucking around. Just get this guy a title shot. And then we're going to have to wait another 6 months. Like, this is why I'm no longer even excited for that fight. Because at this point, like, I don't even think he's going to fight this year, it seems like.
But it may not be Chimaev's fault. You know what I mean? So, like, that's the tough thing. Like, for what we know, Costa
it has to be partly his fault. Like, listen, if he was Sean Strickland, if he had the Sean Strickland mindset, and I guarantee you, Dricus du Plessis would have been able to would have fought him. I guarantee you.
I don't know why they didn't do that. I don't know why.
I guarantee you, Sean Strickland would have fought. Like other guys would have said yes. The thing is, the UFC is like, obviously they have their favorites, but I'm telling you, man, Costa's team that they don't want him to like just take fights like that anymore. I've heard them say in interviews, I've heard his coach literally say, we're no longer doing this thing. It's too dangerous. These people are too good for us to just take random fights. Like he's saying, he is the reason why Hamzat's not doing it. And either way, his team doesn't want to fight. They don't want to be active. So I think it's on both. I think it's on both of them. And the thing is, man, I hate to see it. And the reason I hate this fight is because Costa is like Brian Ortega. He is not like the ultimate test. Like if someone wants to get really tested in a new division at 45, Ilia Topuria is the test. You know what I mean? Not Ortega. You know, Arnold Allen's the test. So at 85, it's like it's either Whitaker or like, you know, maybe there's really no one else, to be honest.
It's Whitaker. Yeah, Max Holloway. Yeah, I mean, but again, the Costa fight, like that's the biggest fight other than Whitaker versus Chimaev. You know, like it's a big fight, even though like it's not like that.
It's a big fight but it's not bigger than Izzy and Chimaev.
Yeah, but I bet you Izzy, like the UFC, like Izzy told the UFC he would rather fight Whitaker or Dricus, and I bet
all
you
that's what I have to say is at the end of the day, either way, we're gonna see Hamzat destroy Izzy eventually,
or Whitaker. Hamzat beats or Whitaker.
I would not really care as much if Whitaker lost, but I'm just happy that we're probably gonna see. Listen, if Whitaker wins the belt, this is what I want to talk about. I don't think Izzy deserves another title shot.
He's not going to get the immediate rematch. There's just no way.
So like in that case, the UFC is probably going to do Whitaker Hamzat.
You can only get immediate rematches so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I would really be upset if he got an immediate rematch.
They won't. I think Izzy would retire straight up. Like I think Izzy would retire if Izzy loses to Whitaker.
These people are not. They're not as sane as us. They're not like they have massive egos, bro. They want to keep going. Izzy wouldn't be a champion if he didn't have this ego.
Is it just me though, or does it still, even though Izzy just won the belt back, does it just still like does it not feel the same to you also? Like it feels different. You know what I mean? Like I feel like before the Pereira first fight, it felt like nobody was going to beat Izzy. You know what I mean? It felt like he was going to like defend the belt like way more, all that. And he loses to Pereira. Now he beats Pereira. Like I feel
I feel like after the Cannonier fight, I honestly felt like Izzy was going to be very beatable, but I feel the opposite. I feel the opposite as you. I feel like Hamzat's the only guy that I can confidently pick against him. Everyone else, I would be okay picking Izzy.
But do you also feel the sense that Izzy's whole championship run is going to come to an end pretty soon?
If it's Hamzat.
Yeah, I think Hamzat's going to fight him. I think Hamzat will 100% fight him at some point. I think he'll beat him. But the thing about Hamzat, though, do you think Izzy would want an immediate rematch against Hamzat if Hamzat smokes him, though?
No.
I don't. If Hamzat beats, like if Hamzat 50-45s and if Hamzat submits him in the first round, the UFC is not giving him an immediate rematch. No way.
No,
they won't. They'll have him fight Whitaker, or they'll have him fight like fucking. I don't know, whoever's in that division at that point. But I just want Hamzat to fight, honestly. It's just a shame because, like, you know, he's had so many, like, tests, you know, like number one contender fights. And, like the Gilbert Burns fight, you could have made an argument that he could get a title shot after that. Like, I mean, big argument. You know, he's number two. The supposed to fight Diaz. You know, we know that whole situation. Now he has to move up and fight another guy before fighting for the belt. Like, it's just annoying. Like, get this guy a title shot already. Like, but at this point, we won't see it until 2024, which is fucking awful. You know, if you told me this in 2022, I would be like, you're crazy. Chimaev, there's no way he's not going to get. If you told me this after he beat Gilbert Burns, I would have been like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
By the way, I have to ask you, this is some wild shit. So first of all, I wanted to ask you about the boxing fight this weekend.
Yeah. Let's talk
what I want to ask is, did you think it was boring as fuck? Because I thought it was really boring. And also, Max Holloway he said that he wants to fight Gervonta Davis.
Okay.
I understand it. Like, he wants to test himself to see how good those guys are. But, like, dude, Gervonta Davis, even if he is a weight class below, like, he would completely fuck Max Holloway up. I'm not even saying he drops him, but, like, he does
drop him, though. I think he does drop him.
Yeah, he
I
might
think
drop him, bro.
yeah, but all right. Well, to answer the first question, I actually didn't think it was boring. I was pretty entertained. I'm gonna be honest with
To
you.
be fair, I wouldn't say
Obviously,
boring, but I'm just saying like it felt like it was built up so much and it didn't seem like I was disappointed in the fact that it wasn't competitive. That's what disappointed me.
okay. I don't know if I was like. I don't think I was disappointed the way you were because at any moment it felt like a knockout could happen. You know what I mean? So like I think that fact was very entertaining to me. You know, and it made these rounds that maybe were a bit slower, and maybe they have not been considered good rounds in other fights good because a knockout could happen at any point. So I wasn't really boring to me, but in terms of Max Holloway, I mean, like, look, these guys are fighters. Max Holloway is the biggest fight. Like, he's one of the truest fighters, one of the biggest competitors in all of fighting. You know, not just UFC. So I bet you he would fight Tank Davis. Like, he would. Like, I believe he would. You know, I mean, I think a lot of UFC fighters would fight him.
Oh yeah, without
Would,
a doubt. Sean
would he
would,
stand?
O'Malley, oh, yeah, for
Would,
sure.
would he stand a chance? Fuck no. I think he gets. I don't give a shit if he has a granite chin. I think he gets knocked out by Gervonta Davis. Easy,
Yeah.
easy. Like
Like
I don't
every
care
UFC fighter gets destroyed by champion boxers,
it's just
bro.
different. Like you can have as good of a chin in the UFC as possible. It's different. These guys hit different. Like you know what I mean? They're different. That's what they do. That's what they've been doing since a young age. And if you're, I don't care like who you are. If you're getting hit clean in the chin by Gervonta Davis and you're a similar weight, you're getting put out.
Yeah, without
You
a
know what I
doubt.
mean? So I think
But
Max
my
Holloway.
question, do you think that who has pillow hands in the UFC? Do you think Askren beats him in a fight?
B2.
Gervonta Davis in an MMA fight?
No.
Yes.
I think Gervonta beats him.
MMA fight?
Oh no! Oh, I thought you meant boxing.
I think,
Oh
to be honest though,
no.
I think
A-
Gervonta might beat me in a fight, like honestly. Because
Askren
I'm
would
not
take
that
him
big. You know what I mean? Like I don't like
in,
weigh so
but
much
in
more.
what in boxing or UFC?
Straight
Both.
MMA. I guess I could just dive his legs. There's no, or honestly, he might not know what to do if I just dive on him. But he's probably like pretty
Trains a
fucking
little.
vicious. No?
He's been in street fights his whole life in Baltimore. You know,
If
and
it,
he's
I'm
probably,
just saying, if I couldn't easily take him down, I would get obviously KO'd. But
I don't think he beats fighters in UFC though. Obviously, you know, like, but if any of these UFC fighters go to this into boxing, they're getting fucked
yeah,
up by
yeah,
unless you're
without a
like
doubt.
185 or unless you're like
Yeah,
170. You know what I mean? Like that's different. But in terms of like guys who 135, 145, maybe
yeah.
155, like probably 155 too, you're getting fucked up by Gervonta Davis.
I just thought the fight was in general like I was
In terms
looking
of
forward
build
to
up
seeing
stuff
like
like that.
everyone was like finally, both of these guys aren't afraid to risk it, and they did risk it.
Mm-hmm.
But like it was so evident that Gervonta Davis was way better and way more skilled than ever. Like
Yeah,
he was fighting a 24-year-old and it wasn't competitive. And because of that, I was like, damn, this is like your average boxer who's in his prime taking on a guy that ain't really there yet. Like
I don't think
that's
I think
it
Ryan
turned out to
Garcia
be
is.
what boxing always was.
I
This is
think we
not the
want.
number one test in boxing, is what
I
I'm
think we
saying.
wanted to believe something about Ryan Garcia that just wasn't there yet.
I
I
thought he was
think
like
that's
Sean
the truth.
O'Malley for Piotr.
No, but I think the truth is about him going to that fight. Everyone knew he had these holes. Everyone knew he had these holes. We were just assuming because of how big the fight is. Like we were kind of clouding our judgment and kind of being like, oh, like just like being like, oh, he has a chance. You know what I mean? All that. Like who knows? Like like Tank is like a low volume striker puncher. Like we kind of like made this up as the buildup went on. But the whole time, like he had these holes going into this fight, and I think it just showed. I think Tank is just on a completely different level than Ryan, just a completely different level. And the thing, Lucas, about this that was the most impressive, the thing that was very impressive. I know you didn't love the fight, but Gervonta Davis outboxed him too.
Yeah,
He
that's
won.
that's what I mean. Like he was just the better boxer. Like
He was
Ryan Garcia was just he looked like he was a 24-year-old fighting a prime 28-year-old, and it also looks like he just wasn't that good. Like I'm sure that Devin Haney and Lomachenko would give Gervonta a tougher fight, and that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think I was disappointed because Garcia was worse than I thought. Like I thought he was going to be better than that.
no fight. If I just I
He
just
was
think
so one-dimensional. The guy
but that's
was
how he's
relying on his
always
hook.
been. That's always been. It's just he's not been
Yeah.
tested. He didn't fight a single undefeated fighter in his whole career. Like, who knows?
I
He
just
could
bought into
still
the hype, I guess.
he can go up to like 140 and be great, you know, in a few years. Who knows? He could be, but like against like Gervonta Davis against Devin Haney, he gets fucked up by all those guys. Straight up. I think Devin Haney would kill Ryan Garcia. Imagine what I think he would just put on a 12-round clinic. I think he would 12-0 him. Straight up. I think he'd win every single round. I don't know if he'd knock him out. Because
That's not true. Boxing never happens like that.
Dude, Gervonta,
Garcia
bro.
took rounds from Tank.
Yeah, but dude, Devin Haney's fucking he's different.
I don't really watch these guys, so I really don't know.
Devin Haney will just fucking out jab his face for literally 12 rounds. Like,
Yeah.
that's Devin Haney versus Gervonta Davis is a good fight, though. I think that's
They'll
interesting.
probably not make that though, because they're
They'll
going
not
to go
make it
back to
until
normal.
2038. That's when
Yeah,
they'll
this is
make
why
it.
MMA is so much better.
Yeah, but yeah, that fight was a huge fight. I wonder how many pay-per-views it sold, because I bet it was over 1 million. It had to be.
Probably.
That felt like the biggest boxing fight in years. But it's not fuck boxing, you know.
Yeah. What do you think about this new matchup between the first of all, Belal Muhammad and Gilbert Burns?
Oh yeah, we need to talk about it. We did not talk about since like we didn't have a podcast since then. I'm super excited for this fight. I'm super excited. Like a 5-round fight. It didn't make sense to me at first, but now it kind of does make sense. I was watching the submission. I don't know if you saw the submission radio episode from Gilbert Burns from last night. And I think Burns is honestly, I think he's listening to us about the finishes. He's got it. Like, he's got to be listening to like the MMA community overall, like complaining about that, because like he was. I don't know if you did you see the interview?
I haven't yet, but I will now that you mentioned this.
He was talking
I saw
about
what he said about me. Like,
that's
people
why
talking shit about the Wonder Boy fight.
No, he the
wants to get a finish. Yeah.
So he said if he says like if like Masvidal fight was 5 rounds, he believes he would have gotten a finish.
Yeah.
So he says he's like, I'm finishing Belal. I don't need to like win. I can't just win this fight. I need to finish Belal. And I think 5 rounds gives him a lot more of an opportunity to finish him. You know, it for sure does.
But the question is he going to do it by submission? That's the question.
Oh, I think he knocks out Belal. I think he knocks him out.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's my predictions, at least to the next point. I think he knocks out Belal. I think it could be early. I think it could be early because you look at Burns, in all of his fights, he hurts his opponent.
Yeah.
And he's hurting Kamaru Usman. He's hurting Khamzat Chimaev. He's hurting Masvidal, who I know he's went through so many wars and stuff, but he still has a good chin. And he hurts all these guys. You don't think he's going to hurt Belal? You know what I mean? Like Belal's like good, I know, but like I also think stylistically it's a horrible matchup for Belal. Horrible.
This guy just said Burns and Belal are 2 of the most boring fighters in the UFC, bro. Calling Burns one of the most boring fighters in the UFC is one of the most delusional things I've ever heard. He does not even know who Gilbert Burns is, most likely.
His only exciting.
He only had an exciting fight against. Dude, he had an exciting fight against Usman. He had an exciting fight against Masvidal.
Wasn't Damian Maia fight?
Damian Maia was an exciting fight. Yeah, the guy has a lot of exciting fights.
Yeah, I mean, look, the only fight the Neil Magny fight was exciting.
That was exciting. He submitted him in the first round, bro.
The only bad fight Gilbert Burns has had was the Wonder Boy. And he's very boring. And Belal Muhammad, I mean, like you could say he's boring.
Lay and pray against Masvidal. Dude, he beat Masvidal's ass in the first and third round.
He outstruck him.
But
whatever.
I mean,
I think stylistically, I think the styles will make this an entertaining fight, though.
Yeah, because they're gonna strike, and Belal's definitely gonna like land some shots, but Burns is gonna knock him out. Like at the end of the day, it's like
he's gonna knock him out.
Burns is just better on the feet. At the end of the day, stronger, better, powerful.
Dude, I kind of like Belal. Straight up, I kind of like.
I like
Belal.
him too.
I don't love Belal, you know. But I kind of like him. I just think his strike. He's just a weird fighter overall. You know what I mean? It's because is it just me or is like striking, his takedowns? He just seems so slow with everything he does. Yeah. He just seems so slow and awkward. And I think that Burns is just gonna piece him up on the feet, like piece him up. And I think he's going to knock him out. You know, I think Burns, maybe if he lands those shots he landed on Chimaev, I think those knock out Belal straight up. So I think I'm probably gonna early prediction. I'd probably pick Burns by a second or third round knockout. I would say. But what about you?
Yeah. I would probably go with honestly, I'd probably go with I'll go with the second round KO. Yeah. Second round KO for Burns.
Second or third, I agree.
I
But
would say the first, but I think because it's a 5-rounder, he's not gonna like let it all go in the first round.
I think the first round's gonna be kind of slow.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my prediction. But do you think as the fight goes on, who does that benefit more?
I would say it still benefits Burns because like the thing is, people are bringing up Bilal's takedowns. Like he's very good with his
He's
takedowns
not
and he
gonna
can mix
take
it up.
down.
But he's not Marab. Like he doesn't have the Marab. He has to stand at times. Like he has to stand and he could take Burns down and just get back up to his feet, but like he doesn't have the gas tank to do that. People ever since the Marab fight in Yan, people just act like anyone with good cardio is going to fight like Marab. Like that's just not what happens in MMA.
Bilal's not explosive like Marab.
He's not, and he's gonna. I think it benefits Gilbert Burns just as much as it benefits. I don't think it benefits
I
either
don't
of
think
them.
it benefits any. Yeah, I agree with you.
I think
just
it's just
that
I think
Burns
Belal
is
is
a
just
better
a skill
fighter.
disadvantage on the
Burns
feet.
is the better fighter.
Yeah,
That's how it is. Burns is a better fighter. If you know something, I think Burns could give problems to either Leon or Colby. Straight up. I don't know if I pick Burns, but I think he gives problems to either of them.
And I'd much rather see Burns versus Leon than Colby Leon.
Oh, of course, but I mean, we're gonna see Colby versus Leon anyway.
Maybe not though, because Leon might be asking for Burns.
You know what
I
heard though?
The fans are going to be asking for it.
Burns said that that the UFC it's done though. That's what he said. He said it's done. That they're doing.
Well,
Leon
then Burns gets the winner, and I think that.
I wonder what the UFC has on Colby. I really wonder what the. No, I'm sorry. The other way around. I wonder what the Colby has on the UFC, because there's got to be some dirt there.
It's got to be some dirt. Yeah.
It's got to be something weird like that that he has.
Probably Masvidal.
Yeah, I don't. But Masvidal's gone now at this point.
But he wasn't gone before.
Yeah, I mean, but then you can also be like, "Oh, Colby, I'll pay you $1 million. I'll pay you all that money, and that'll be it."
Dude, I don't know. Colby is just. I don't want to see that fight.
Do you think Burns beats Colby though? If they fight,
I do.
You think Burns beats Colby?
Yeah, I
think so. Do you think Burns beats Leon though?
No, dude. He doesn't have the same takedown ability, and I don't think he's going to be able to knock Leon out. So I pick Leon by decision.
You think he hurts Leon though?
Yeah, maybe he hurts him, but I think that Leon's just a better striker overall, and Gilbert Burns is a worse wrestler. So it's like it's not going to work well for him.
I think Leon finishes Burns.
I could see it too because you could catch him with a head kick.
I think he finished. I don't know if it's a head kick, but I think he finishes him late.
Yeah,
I think he can finish Burns late, but I think that'd be a good. I think that though either of those would be good. But I think with Colby, I think Burns can maybe knock out Colby.
Yeah,
straight up. But I think that Colby versus Burns would be a good fight though. Because those are the two guys. I was thinking about it the other day. The two guys who probably cut the least amount of weight in the UFC are Colby and Burns.
Right.
I truly believe those are the least weight bullies in the UFC. So that would be interesting to see. But I feel like with Burns, we don't really know that much about his cardio. I mean, but I'm assuming it's like, I bet it's like pretty decent, But
yeah, cardio. He's put up a good pace in lots of his fights.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really gas out, But what do you think is next? Like completely off topic. So what do you think they do with Shavkat then, or Usman? Like, do you think they just match those guys up?
Yeah, man. I think Usman would be happy to take that. So like honestly, at this point, like I think we're all of the opinion that Shavkat needs a few more wins, and I think he'll get them eventually. So I'm not even stressing about Shavkat at this point. He'll get the wins and he'll get a title shot after beating like Usman. Like who in their right mind is going to pick Usman at this point in his career to beat Shavkat?
Shavkat would fuck him up.
Yeah.
I'd probably pick Shavkat to KO Usman.
Yeah, I would do it too.
Like early too. I think Usman's he's done. But it'll be interesting to see what they do with Shavkat though, because they were going to do Belal versus Shavkat. That was the plan. I think Shavkat would have fucked him up. But I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, if Belal wins, would I be surprised? I don't think I'd be surprised. Like maybe a little bit, but I think Burns should be able to get this easy money. But what do you make of Burns fighting a third time this year, though? Do you think that you think it's gonna like give him like a real like, do you think we're gonna see as good of a Gilbert Burns as maybe like his fight in January? Like, do you think it'll really have affected him, or do you think like he's just gonna be the same?
I mean, at a certain point, it's not going to be good for him, but I think that because Leon is not going to fight Colby till the fall, it won't affect him because he'll just sit out, rest up. So I think it's fine.
So you don't think he's gonna take much damage in this fight?
Even if he does, I think there's enough time between this fight and then whenever he would get a title fight, which would be next year, most likely.
Also, another question. Speaking of welterweight, what do you make of the Sean Brady versus who's he fighting again? He's fighting
Jack
Jack
Della
Della. You want to know something?
Yeah, I think that's a bad fight for Sean Brady. I think Jack Della knocks him out.
Dude, but who knows though? He can maybe take down JDM.
JDM has good takedown defense.
But based off what though?
In his first UFC fight, he fought a grappler, this guy from Russia, Dagestani wrestler. Guy was shooting at him, stuffed multiple takedowns, and then knocked him out. You know, like Sean Brady is not a great wrestler. He's a good jiu-jitsu guy. He's not a good wrestler.
It's a good test.
This guy from Russia is a better wrestler than him. That's all I remember is the UFC. They were talking about when he was walking out. They were like, "This guy's a good wrestler, wrestling background." Like, wasn't able to take him down and just got KO'd. And Sean Brady does pillow hands, doesn't have a great chin, gasses out easily. I think it's a terrible matchup for him.
The UFC really missed on Sean Brady. You know, that whole thing was weird. How people really thought he was special.
Yeah,
remember,
I know.
We called it from the beginning. You know,
Yeah.
Sean Brady's fucking trash. He's not good. Remember, we picked Belal to beat Brady. Remember, like picked Belal to beat Brady, and everyone was like, "Oh, Brady's 13-0, all that." He's not good. He's not a good fighter. He fought scrubs. He's not a good fighter. He went to war with fucking what's his name, Mike. What's his name again?
Chiesa,
who's super old. What up, UFC Silva? Yeah, so he's fucking trash. I think JDM's gonna knock him out too. But I think this is a good matchup for JDM, though. I think this brings him. Is Brady still in the top 10 or top 11?
I think he's still top 15.
So, I mean, this brings him a bit closer, you know, and then maybe after this, you can do a Vicente Luque fight or something, you know, just
I think this is kind of like the same rank as a Vicente Luque. You know,
I
feel like after this, it's time to give him
or Jeff Neal.
Yeah, someone like that.
I would love to see Jeff Neal versus fucking.
Yeah, me too.
JDM, that's a fucking good fight. You know what I'd also like to see? Kevin Holland versus Jeff Neal. That's another fight.
That's a good fight. Yeah,
I would love to see Kevin Holland versus Jeff Neal. Kevin Holland does, I don't know if you know this, but Kevin Holland does have a win over Jeff Neal. It was like
I've seen that. Yeah,
it was on regionals or something. You can make that argument.
I think Kevin Holland would lose at this point.
You think so?
Dude, I don't think he's that good anymore. Like, I feel like he looked like shit in his last fight.
It's a weird matchup though for Jeff Neal. Like fighting Kevin Holland's weird for anybody though. You know what I mean?
Not really. Like, I guess you're right with the length. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like the length especially against a striker. Like I think Kevin Holland could be a weird fight for anybody who doesn't wrestle. You know, like and fucking Jeff Neal doesn't wrestle. I think Kevin Holland versus Vicente Luque. That's Kevin Holland. That's a winnable fight for Kevin Holland too. Yeah, I'm actually a Kevin Holland fan, to be honest with you. I don't know.
I just feel like he's looked terrible in his last few outings.
I also think he fucked up his hand against Wonderboy, and I think
what happened in his last one? I mean, he got the KO, but
he was terrible. He said he didn't use his right hand until the fight. I
think he's just coping with the fact that he knows he didn't do that well.
I don't know. I like Kevin Holland, so maybe I'm just being biased.
I like him too, but as far as his fighting skills go, he's never beat someone ranked, and he's not getting any younger.
I think 170 is better for him though than 85 though. You
170 is definitely something that is probably going to be better for him because I feel like at 185 is just too small. But I feel like Kevin Holland, I'm going to pick against him if he takes a step up. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to pick against him.
Even against Jeff Neal?
Dude, yeah, I think Jeff Neal beats him.
How would Rob fight? So UFC Silva, we talked about the 5-round thing before. We said it doesn't really benefit either of them. Like it's like the same for either of them. How would Rob fight Izzy off a loss? Off his last loss, you mean? I think Rob is just like, I think he learns more and more. Like, I think he learned a lot from that last Izzy fight. I think he built a lot more confidence because we saw in the first round, The Rob who fought Izzy in the first round, the last fight, was different than the Rob in rounds 4 through 5. You know, and I think he's gained a lot more confidence from that last fight. And I think he is gonna beat Izzy, and I think he's gonna look better than he did last fight. So I don't think it'll make a difference. You know, I don't think the last couple fights will make a difference for him. But you want to know? Someone said something about a UFC 300 card that do you think that's going to be the card that McGregor returns to?
Nah, dude, he's gonna come back way before then.
Do you see McGregor talk about August potentially?
Dude, I think that I mean he's probably gonna come back like the fall, most likely October, maybe Vegas,
Yeah,
or
interesting.
I mean September Vegas.
You see Yuri versus Yuri wants to.
Yeah, dude,
Yuri's,
I can't wait for
what
that.
do you think?
I honestly feel like Yuri's in my top 3 favorite fighters,
Same
purely
place.
entertainment wise. Watching them fight, it's Volk, Whitaker, and Yuri right now.
What about Chimaev though? If you have to watch somebody like a Chimaev fight, like when he gets in the ring and all that stuff, it's like
I think that Chimaev is definitely up there. Yeah, I agree with that. I think he's up there, but I think Yuri is.
Yuri versus Hill is going to be a fucking
Dude,
bang.
Yuri and Hill might be one of the best stylistic matchups of the year.
Ooh.
Like, yeah, Yuri and Hill is one of the best stylistic matchups of the last few years.
That's just destined to be like, because Hill is just going to scrap with whoever. Like he's just going to scrap.
Dude,
with
he's tough. He's down to scrap. That's why it's going to be so fun.
Dude, that's going to be a great fight. Turner versus Hooker prediction. I think Turner fucks up Hooker.
Turner KO first round.
I think Turner.
I saw the MMA Guru's prediction for this, and he was like, I don't think Turner's going to finish him and all this. Like, bro, I'm telling you, man, people sleep on
Arnold
Turner.
Allen finished him easy. Like, fucking
dude, Jalen Turner, I think Jalen Turner is the most slept on striker, and I feel like they're not going to give him the respect after he beats Hooker because Hooker will just be old. But that's one of the things I don't like about this matchup. I feel like it's too easy. Like I would rather have seen Turner get to fight a Drew Dober or something like that, or Turner get to fight a Demir Magulov, or even you know who else is in the top ranking? Yeah, you know, like a Moicano, someone that or RDA or something like that. Like RDA. I feel like this is so easy for him. It doesn't really prove anything, and I think that I think Dan Hooker is just going to get KO'd pretty easily.
I think it'll be interesting. It'll be entertaining though. That 290 card, by the way, I'm more excited now that there's not the Jones for Stipe on it. Like I think they made it better than it would have been with Jones and Stipe.
Yeah, because that almost overshadows every other.
Yeah, so I think they were going to be a little bit. I think this kind of forced them. They were probably like, okay, this is our big card of the year. Like I know we don't have great main event, like in terms of like name wise, we need to just stack this card like no other. And that's literally
Whitaker, Moreno, Volk.
No, not Figueroa. Oh yeah, Moreno too. Moreno versus Cat.
And Figueredo, yeah.
And also Bo Nichols on it.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. And Turner, like, dude.
Wait, who's gonna like
Robbie Lawler?
What's the main card gonna be though? Because that's gonna be the interesting one. Because the main card, like I'm looking at right now, I want to see what they say. The main card, 290. I mean, so who's not going to be on the main card? So it's going to be
Volk. So far, it's Volk, Moreno, Whitaker, Davidson Figueiredo's on the main card. Jalen Turner, Bo Nichols not going to be on the main card. Okay, Madalena and Brady are on there. Robbie Lawler, Nico Price.
Wait, yeah, Brady. Brady, that fight's on 292.
Yeah, Brady and Madalena.
Oh, I didn't know it was 290. Wow.
So like they need to add some other good ones though. I think this card needs one more big fight.
Bro, I think it's good. I think it's sad.
Dude, it is good, but I'm just saying they need one more to make it amazing. Dude, it's a great card, but they need one more to make it like insane.
Bro, I mean, I don't know. I still think
they should add Costa and Hamza to this card, bro.
Dude, no, they should add Merab versus Sandhagen.
Or Sandhagen, I don't know if he's going to take that since he just fought, but maybe Merab, Umar they should add what's his name? Kamaru and Shavkat.
Will Kamaru come back that early though?
the thing is, we know the UFC is not going to add
They're
anything
not
like
gonna do
that
it.
to this.
They're gonna keep it. They're gonna keep
Dustin
it
and
on the.
Gagey, like if we ran the UFC, we would have already put Gagey and Dustin on this shit. But like they're
I
not
mean,
going to do that. So this is probably what we're going to get. But it's
yeah,
good.
Julian
I
Williams
think the
versus
August
Williams.
card is going to be Jamal Hill and Yuri.
Yeah, and I think the
I'm
co-main will be
honestly like that's the fight that I'm most excited for.
and then I think Gaethje versus Dustin will be the co-main.
Dude, do you still think Charles can be a champ? Like I'm now thinking about
No,
Charles
no,
and
no.
Beneil.
I think Beneil's gonna fuck him up. Like,
Dude, I remember
fuck
when
him.
Charles seemed unbeatable. Bro, do you remember how hyped we were for that Charles Islam fight? Like that seemed like such a big card.
And it felt like Islam was gonna lose. Like I thought Charles
Yeah,
would for
dude.
sure win because I just thought that the jiu-jitsu would like fuck the wrestling.
I still want to see it again. I really do because I think that Charles is gonna do better in the
Dude,
next
Islam,
one.
I think could fuck him up on the feet too, though.
Yeah, probably.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think like it's not the wrestling that won Islam the fight. You know, it was the feet.
Just
So
the
like,
striking.
you know what I mean? So I think he gets knocked out like again, you know, or not like knocked down again or whatever. And I think with Dariush, I think it's similar. I think Charles is gonna get knocked down and submitted completely. I think Charles is gonna get knocked down and submitted. But I mean, who knows? Charles could win this fight though. Like I think this is a winnable fight for Charles. But you want to know
Yeah.
something though? I wouldn't be surprised if Dariush beats Islam. I'd
I
pick
think a lot
Islam.
of us are underestimating Islam now.
I'd pick Islam. But I think in terms of who is the best shot against Islam, I think it's Dariush. Besides like Volkan, who's small, but like in terms of lightweight division,
I think that's the most competitive fight he has at lightweight for sure.
yeah, I think that the scrambles would be crazy.
Yeah, I actually really would love to see that.
That'd be
an amazing fight.
Hopefully, we're gonna see it. Hopefully,
Yeah,
what do you
most
make
likely.
of
We're gonna see
Leon
it this year then.
What do you make of Leon wanting to fight in Abu Dhabi? So if Leon fights in Abu Dhabi,
The UFC is too shitty of a promotion to actually make that happen.
they shouldn't do it though because you gotta Leon versus
But
Colby
that's the thing. It's like, why do we have these mindsets of they shouldn't do this? They should stack every card. You know, they should do Leon on the same card as Islam. Even make him a co-main event.
That card does $1 million.
Yeah, it would do $1 million, especially if Hamzat Costa's on it. Like the thing is, the UFC never gives the fans what we want.
Yeah, I think it'll be. I think they're gonna end up being on the fucking September card maybe if Connor's not.
I think
on
they'll
it.
probably do Colby and Leon in September.
On the September, and I think Connor is gonna be December. That's my prediction. I think Connor December.
You don't think it's gonna be MSG? Oh, that's Jones.
No, I think they're gonna do Jones for Steve.
I honestly don't even think Jones is fighting again this year.
You don't think so?
I just at this point, bro, I know where this is going. I know where it's going.
You think there's gonna be like a?
I think there's gonna be a bunch of waiting and bullshit.
Yeah, dude, it's Stipe. I'm telling you,
it is Stipe.
It's got to be Stipe. You know,
remember
how it was so easy for John Jones versus Gane to be made. Remember how easy that was?
Like, yeah,
really
instant.
Literally, like once Francis was leaving the UFC, whoop, John versus Gane being booked for the heavyweight title.
Stipe's probably like, no, I'm too busy with this. I need more time, like, or I need more money. Like, come on.
Dude, it's Stipe, bro. He's fucking annoying. And John wants to fight.
That's why I don't even want him to be like in the title picture. I'd rather Pavlovich and Jones.
I just think that Jones is so set on fighting Stipe, though. That's the
He
problem.
Probably doesn't want to fight Pavlovich too.
Dude, I mean, I think he would, but I think he'd rather fight Stipe, you know?
Yeah.
So Aljo versus Sterling, we got 2 weeks left.
Yeah, Jones is all about legacy. Like it seems so much better to win over Stipe in the long run.
True. Yeah, for sure. I wanted to talk about two more things, unless people have some more discussions for us.
Yeah.
Song Yadong versus Ricky Simone. We both have Song Yadong, right?
Yeah, KO first round.
I think second round.
That's fine. Yeah, I think either way, KO.
I don't know how he's an underdog. Like how is Song Yadong?
Because people are hyped with the Simone wrestling and all that, but like, dude.
What I do have to say is the 5-rounder does benefit Simone.
Yeah.
It's going to benefit Simone, but Song Yadong has good takedown defense.
They posted Merab and Simone on YouTube, but like Merab kicked his ass in that fight. That was the fight they posted to promote it.
That was a weird fight. That was a weird fight. So like,
I actually take it back. I said that Merab wasn't finished. I said that he was finished, I rewatched it. Like, I think that wasn't a real finish. Like, Merab was still.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch it again. Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
rewatch it again. I think Simone's a great fighter. I just think that Song Yadong's being completely slept on. Like I think like especially his takedown defense. Like I think he's got pretty good takedown defense. Like
Yeah.
very underrated takedown defense. I think on the feet he's just as good as anybody. You
And
know,
his
so I
chin is granite. That's the
feel
reason
great.
why I'm picking him. Actually, his chin and his
He
speed.
took huge shots from Cheeto Vera, from Corey Sandhagen. Like this guy's ridiculous, and he's 25. Like he's still so young, and like he's gonna continue getting better. So I got Song Yadong by second round finish. Aljo versus Sterling. Let's talk a little about that. I mean, we'll do a full prediction next time, but you still picking out Sterling? No, sorry, Cejudo.
Yeah, Cejudo. Dude, like right now, I haven't watched tape yet, so like I have to
Mhm.
rewatch the Aljamain Sterling and Piotr Jan fight. I have to. I'm not going to rewatch the Sterling and TJ fight, but I'll rewatch the
That
Jan
was that
fights and
was
I'll
a
rewatch
useless.
the Munoz fight because he
Mhm.
dominated Munoz on the feet. I
Mhm.
already watched the Henry Cejudo Dominic Cruz fight, which is very impressive.
Mhm.
I'm going to have to rewatch Cejudo versus Moraes, and
Dude, I
I'll look for a
rewatched that
tall
fight
opponent
recently.
from Cejudo. But I think that I think right now I'm honestly leaning towards Aljamain, to be honest.
Really, the momentum and
I
just
feel like it's just the age. Like, I don't think these guys that are bantamweights can afford to come back this late. I think the
because the
divisions
level is
progress so
skill level's
fast.
too high.
I think, yeah, the divisions just progress faster than the heavier divisions. And I think that Aljamain is not only really good, but he's also massive. He's a really big guy. And
He gets
Cejudo is
Henry
going to
down.
be small.
If he gets Henry down, it's done.
Yeah. And he's not like a one shot knockout guy, like, so
Yeah, but
I think he's gonna do well on the feet. I think Henry's more dangerous, but like I think Aljamain Sterling is competent enough to at least like be in the fight, is what I'm saying. On the feet. Like he's good enough striker to be in the fight, and he has a high output, and his kicks are gonna give Henry issues, and he's not just
also
gonna get
he
held
has a lot
down.
of holes. He has a lot of holes though in his game, Aljo, in his
But
striking.
like Piotr Jan wasn't able to knock him out ever.
But Peter Yan was more worried about the takedown defense than Olympic wrestler and Henry.
I don't think
Henry's.
Aljamain's gonna care about that. I think he's gonna spam takedowns as he
So how,
normally
how
does.
do you think the fight's gonna like? So like, do you think that like how do you see the fight going though? Like, do you think
I
Aljo's
think
gonna
that
get
I
him
think
down?
Aljamain Sterling is gonna. I think Sterling's gonna have a tough first round. I think um, he's gonna get hit a couple times in the first round, but I think he's gonna hurt Henry on the feet. I don't think he's gonna drop him, but I think he's gonna like stumble him around a little bit with some of his kicks, and he's gonna surprise Henry Cejudo with how much he can throw and like how quick he is, because he is fast. He's got good
Mhm.
kicks, and then I think the second round, I'm thinking that Cejudo is probably gonna try to put his foot on the gas more, and I think Aljamain is going to find a way to take Cejudo down through a scramble, and I think he's going to submit him.
Interesting.
I think he's going to just. I don't think he's going to have any success with just shooting clean takedowns, but
Mhm.
I think
Think
he's
he's
going to
gonna like
find some
catch
kind
him
of
for
a
real. Yeah.
scramble, like a dirty scramble, and submit him. Like he's like the reason I picked Ortega to beat Yair is because I was like, I think in the dirty scrap, like Ortega's going to find some way to get it down. And I think that Aljamain is like, he's not Ortega with his wrestling. He's obviously a way better wrestler
Mhm.
than Ortega.
Yeah.
I think that his wrestling is enough to at least at some point get it to the ground. And I think
Mhm.
if he gets it to the ground,
It's done.
I think he's going to submit it. I think he's going to submit Henry. And Henry's probably training this because he knows Aljo's good there, but I think Aljamain's going to beat his ass on the ground. If he doesn't submit him, he's going to beat his ass. Like with the
Interesting.
body lock on top of him, punching him in the face.
Aljo's good. Aljo's really good.
Yeah.
He just hasn't had that one win that we're like. I mean, the Sandhagen one, but like as a champion, like he hasn't had this one win where we're like, okay, like this is no fluke. Like this guy is like elite fighter. You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
hasn't had. This could be the fight.
I mean, he did have a couple of those early, but as a champion,
But
no.
as
Like
a
he had them
champion,
against
no.
Sandhagen and Munoz, but not
You know
against
what I mean? So like
not against
maybe
Jan.
this will be it. You know,
I mean, to be fair, he did take Jan down and put him in a body lock twice. Like, you
but
can't
dude, there
fluke
was
that.
so much to that fight, though. There was the fact that it was a close decision.
Jan got held in a body lock twice, like 2 rounds in a row. We didn't see Islam do that to Volk twice.
A lot
We
of
saw him
people
beat Jan up a little bit on the ground, and
a
he
lot
also
of
won the first.
a lot of people thought what's the name won though. I mean, at the
Yeah, I
moment,
understand that, but
people
like,
calling robbery.
I think
But
that
also,
Aljamain is like, I think Jan is still underrated after. I think people think like Jan is not even that good anymore, but like, I just don't think Henry Cejudo has beat anyone like Aljamain Sterling, and Sterling has, in a way, kind of beat people like Henry Cejudo. In a way, he's
I don't
beat
know.
the short, stocky Piotr Jan. Like, he's done it,
But he's
and
a
I think
different
that Piotr
wrestler.
Jan's tougher on the feet.
I don't know. I think Sterling by knockout within the first 3 rounds. I think he's going to exploit something about Aljo's game. I think he's going to knock him out. Something about his striking. But I would not be surprised if Cejudo wins. I think this is like a 6. I got 60-40 for Henry. I think it's like very like or 55-45.
Yeah.
It's
But I
going to be.
also know that Sterling has a good chin from what I've seen recently. And dude, he's just so good with his jiu-jitsu. Like, once he gets you down, it's like instant you're in a bad situation. Like, he reminds me of Charles in like the bantamweight division in the way that he can just, or Ortega in the way that he can just like instantly get you in a really bad position with his body lock. And I think that Henry is like, it's when it comes to the grappling and you have technique, the size matters. Like, especially with technique, like Aljamain not only is a amazing jiu-jitsu guy, but he's also like much bigger than Cejudo. So I think that's going to play a massive role.
It really could. Yeah.
And he's in front of his home fans, his home crowd, New Jersey. He's from New York.
Yeah. I think he could win. I mean, I think it's 60-40 or 55-45. I think it's gonna be really close. I think can go either way, you know.
I'm gonna go to the press conference. I can't wait.
You're gonna go?
It's gonna be a good press conference. Yeah.
You think it'll be good?
Dude, they're gonna be talking loads of shit. Especially Cejudo and Aljo, they're gonna be talking a lot.
It's gonna be very cringy though.
But it'll be fun. So I'm looking for. And Belal and Burns are gonna be there.
You'll see Marab there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm actually gonna go.
You'll see that. You'll see that goblin.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I'm excited though. I'm. You know what? I want to know something. I'm more excited that Burns versus Belal is the fight than Charles versus Beneil.
Same.
Because I just thought that Charles was gonna get fucked up and it would have been sad, you know. And I also think it benefits everybody. Like, I think the UFC 289 card's a lot better now with Charles and Beneil.
And Evloev stepping in for Pierce.
Oh, on the 280. Oh, yeah. And then 288. Yeah, who do you think wins, Evloev or Mitchell?
Evloev.
You think it's a decision?
Yeah.
Probably right. They're both so good
decision.
though at grappling. I think that's gonna be a good.
Bryce is good. Evloev's good everywhere. So I think Evloev's just.
It's gonna be a good. I think it's gonna be an interesting scrambles and stuff.
Yeah, it'll be a good scrap, but I think Evloev takes it.
And then isn't Jessica Andrade on it?
Yeah, she's fighting this other Chinese woman that's pretty good.
The one who beat Mackenzie Dern, right?
Yeah, she's good. She's good.
She's entertaining too. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good fight too. So yeah, no,
it's going to be a great card. It's not a lot of big names, but it'll be a great card.
This can turn out to be a really good card. You know,
I think the fights are going to be amazing on it.
Yeah, I think Burns versus Belal is just going to be, because both of them are going to try to get a finish. You know, I mean, both of them, they're like, okay, like if I get a finish, like maybe I can go in front of Colby. You know, so they're both going to try to get a finish, which is going to make it super entertaining. Cejudo versus Aljo, they both think that they're so much better than the other one.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if Aljo does, but they're both gonna like it'll. Be
I guarantee you, Cejudo thinks he's way better than Aljo.
Yeah, oh for sure. But and then you know the Jessica Andrade fight, she brings it. You know, it'll be interesting. And then the not Pierce, Mitchell versus Evloev. Like it's gonna be a good card. I'm pretty excited for it. But yeah. Before we wrap it up, do you have anything else, or if anybody wants to comment, any discussions? Comment.
I think we covered it all. We covered a lot.
Great one, guys. Thank you for those who watching. Last chance, guys. Do you have anything you want to discuss? You know, super chat. If not, call it. But post, yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching. It's been a great one. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what kind of videos you'd like us to do. More debates, regular podcasts. Actually, before let's give UFC Silva. Let's do a UFC Silva's one. He's the man. Lucas and Jake, what's the biggest robbery in a title fight? Want to go first?
Yeah. Shoot. I mean, like, I would say it's Jones and Reyes. That's my pick.
For me, Reyes, Jones, or GSP versus Hendricks.
Yeah.
Those are the two that come to mind. Yeah, GSP, Hendricks, Jones, Reyes. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time.